Well, all eyes are on the Supreme Court this morning as far-left activists are planning to shut down the streets of D.C. ahead of a potential reversal on Roe v. Wade. Our next guest knows what it's like to be a target of political attacks. South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace's house was vandalized by Antifa symbols and profanity last year, and she joins us now. Good morning to you.
And good morning. Thank you for having me on this morning.
Well, thanks for coming on. I know you wrote that this was horrible. Your children are in middle school. They live at that house, and I'm sure it made you very nervous. And Nancy Pelosi is stalling on bolstering the security for our justices. Why?
Well, it's hard to say, and when my house was vandalized last year and spray painted, it's scary, I will tell you. I had to look over my shoulder for months and also bolster up my own personal security. My kids were scared. I have two teenagers who live in that home, and it's scary. And we just saw last weekend, Justice Kavanaugh, someone was armed very close to his home, and it was the left that leaked the addresses, the home addresses of our Supreme Court justices. So no one should be surprised, and no one should be surprised that Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden, they're not doing anything to protect this institution. The judicial branch is the third branch of government. We have something called the Constitution. We have laws. We should follow them, and we should be protecting our justices no matter their political bent, and that's not what's happening today.
Congresswoman, I know you represent South Carolina. You spend a lot of time in D.C. These protesters are saying they're going to shut down the streets, and even the police are urging visitors not to bring guns. How nervous are you when this ruling comes down?
Well, we all should be on pins and needles watching this. We've had violence from Antifa, or I'm told it's anarchists or whatever, across this country over the last 2 years. We have the FBI who doesn't categorize Antifa, and so I want to know where Homeland Security is on this. Where's the FBI? What are we doing to protect the justices? What are we doing to protect this institution? What are we going to do to protect the American people? Because we have laws in this country, and we ought to be following them. We ought to be keeping our communities safe, our Supreme Court safe, everybody across this country. And here we have Joe Biden. Every crisis this country has faced has been a crisis of his own creation. We need strong leadership right now. I cannot wait for 2022 to be over and we have a Republican majority. And we want Republicans to be strong, but we got to win the White House back in 24.
Yeah, well, Congresswoman, I know your big day tomorrow, primary day. You're running against another Republican. You're the incumbent, and Trump backed your opponent. Her name is Katie Arrington. She's a former state rep in South Carolina. But Nikki Haley, our former governor down there in South Carolina, actually backed you. What was your reaction when you didn't get the endorsement of Trump?
Well, having the endorsement of former Chief of Staff to Trump, Mick Mulvaney, the former governor of South Carolina, Nikki Haley, Nikki and I have been campaigning the last 24 hours, and we're out on the campaign trail together again today. I have a solid record in the 1st Congressional District. This is a swing district my opponent lost in 2018 to a Democrat for the first time in 40 years. I have a great record. I've never voted to raise taxes. My opponent voted with Democrats for the highest tax hike in South Carolina history, not once, but twice. And it was for the gas tax. And so when we say, hey, Joe Biden did that, you can say Katie Arrington helped him. And guess what? I mean, I could be trusted by our military. My opponent leaked classified information about our military and had our top secret security clearance suspended. If the military can't trust her, then why should voters? So I'm very cautiously optimistic about the election tomorrow. I expect a solid double-digit win, and we're going to keep campaigning the next 24 hours and pull out a giant win tomorrow night at 7 p.m.
Okay, I know you criticized President Trump after January 6th in some interviews, and I think he was upset about that, but you didn't vote to impeach him. And in November, the winner of this race will face Dr. Annie Andrews in November. We wish you all the best. Thank you so much, Congresswoman.
Thank you.
Thank you.